greetings, my brothers and sisters. As I was driving on my way to where I'm going, I was meditating on a certain thing. I was meditating on a certain. I was meditating on a certain spirit. I was meditating on the enemy. I was meditating on. I guess I could use the word manipulation. I could use the word witchcraft. That's what I was meditating on, and what I was meditating on, like how witchcraft works, and people usually often use also witchcraft having a Jezebel spirit. Also, some use that witchcraft with the Absalom spirit. And Jezebel, one of the things that she did, that she manipulated and she controlled. She was addicted to power, authority, and her purpose was to control. She controlled, and she was always after the prophets. The prophets, they were the ones that had the mouthpiece of God. And so the mouthpiece of God, every time they spoke, they became a threat to Satan's kingdom, to wickedness. And so she had a plan to keep them quiet. And her way of keeping them quiet is by any way or by any means necessary. And one of the things that she used an intelligence as well as her beauty. And what she would do, she would take these prophets and would draw them in with her beauty, would draw them in with her charm, and oftentimes at the most weakest spot, or she will find that weak spot with perfume, with nice words. And the purpose is to draw those prophets into her bedchamber. And once they get into that bedchamber, silence them, either by way of death or by way of verbal death. And what I mean by that, one way that someone can kill a person is by killing their influence, by killing their voice. And one of the things that she did, she lured them. They fell. And in them falling, she told it. And what she would do, she would tell everyone who they were, how they were, does it sound familiar? What they're not this good, no good, none of that, don't listen to them. And so the purpose of it is to try to discredit what they're saying by what they've done. And that's one of the spirits also, if you're going to look at like witchcraft. Witchcraft, you understand, like charm. Charm is a sound, a pipe. You can even look at a snake. When a snake is about to bite you, that snake, before it bites you, there's a hiss. And oftentimes that hiss will paralyze you. It will paralyze before it bites you. And so in this case, what the hiss is that paralyzes you is either words. See, because if you look at the word, even in words, when you spell a word, you spell. Each word has power. Each word has influence based on how you listen or how you've been indoctrinated with the meaning of that one particular word. And you take someone who's able to use words, who has influence, and use those words as a sound to control, to manipulate, to take away a person's will without them even knowing it. That's one of the things that the enemy will do. He will try to take away your will. He will take away your rights. Will take away your ability to choose. The enemy will take away your ability to think. And see, that's one of the things that God has given all of us. He's given all of us a choice, either life or death. And so what the enemy will do, the enemy will try to take away your choice. Will try to take away your dignity. Will try to take away everything. And the way he does that is by getting inside of your head by you listening to him. And once you listen to the sound of his words, then you will believe everything that's been said. Then you become under the power, under the spell, under the control of his words, of his influence. And which means that, and if you do anything, or if you say or do anything outside of what he's saying, then the enemy, what he would do, the enemy will, it's almost like a whip. When you do something wrong, the enemy will whip you, will do something to you to torment you, to keep making you do what he said. That's like with a baby, or like with a kid, or now like someone who's spoiled, who's always accustomed to getting their way. But every time they're in a situation where they are not getting their way, they will cry, they will get upset, they will yell, they will throw a tantrum. And see that tantrum, is the sound. That tantrum is the charm. That tantrum is the whip that says, I'm not getting my way, but I'm gonna make a sound until I get my way. It's almost like if this stove is hot, every time you touch that stove, it's gonna burn you. So you know it's hot, so you're not gonna touch it. And so in other words, you're gonna let that stove do what it wanna do because it's hot. The same thing with manipulation. Manipulation, you can look at it like something that's you can't touch. And every time you try to touch it, it's gonna burn you. And so the purpose of the heat is to not let you touch it. The same thing what the enemy does. The same thing what happened with people who have bad intentions, crooks, thieves, people who plot, who manipulate. One of the things that they never want you to do is for you to get inside their head or to find out what their plans are. And so this is why the enemy will come as an angel of light. And see, the angel of light is coming with, in the beginning, saying something that's right, saying something that you can identify with, saying something you can agree with. And so, but what happens eventually, once you bid in, and once you get to a point where you're sold on what he's saying, then he's gonna flip, gonna change up on you, gonna change up on you. Those are my words. God bless you.